Seasonic, the heart of your system.
I'm Neil Warder for Kit Guru. This case is the Deepcool Macube 550. I'm not sold on the name, and in truth, I think this typo on the installation guide where it's called a Macube 550 almost works better, but let's put that to one side. Let's not poke fun. You need to know a few things about this case from the off before I start pulling off panels. It is relatively cheap in the UK, relatively cheap, for a case that looks quite stylish with glass and such like, which is at $79.99. It launched at $99.99, which seemed rather steep. $79.99 puts it into the mid-range territory. It appears from your angle to have no airflow whatsoever. It's almost hermetically sealed, you might think. This is not the case. There's actually some clever stuff going on with this case, and I'm looking forward to building into it. Let me first pull off this panel, which is released like so. So magnets, actually it pops back, they're very strong magnets. So okay, that stays. And now I lift it off, and you can see it is heavily tinted. Inside, it's starting to look very conventional. We've got a fixed power supply shroud with a Game of Storm logo on this acrylic panel. I turn to the other side of the case, which looks like nothing I've ever seen before. That they call it dragon scale, but this sort of diamondy pattern. 2 thumb screws, away with the panel. And that is the secret to a lot of the airflow in this case. Interestingly, that panel there we go, is retained by magnets. So that is plastic, and that is all stamped into the steel of the panel. Off with the front panel. There is airflow around the sides of the front panel. I'm going to have to see just how restrictive that is. By eye, that looks highly restrictive, but Deepcool is clearly aware of this. They actually make a specific reference in their literature to that being a stealth airflow path. We can install units of 120 at the front, so 120, 240, 360. In the side, we can go 360 or 280. We can put a radiator or fan at the rear. There's a single fan installed at the rear. That's all you get. You don't get any fans at the front whatsoever, which seems a little bit on the cheap side to me. And then on the I/O panel, which is fixed to the core chassis, we've got your usual headset jacks and a pair of USB 3. Curiously, they're colored green rather than blue, but they are USB 3. For some reason I don't quite fathom, the 2 3.5-inch drive caddies are supplied as accessories loose in the box. That says to me that some markets don't get those. Those caddies can be installed in the floor of the case, and then we've got 1 SSD sled there and 2 there. So they seem to have covered all the bases. We've got apparently airflow. I can see the side certainly is going to flow air. Whether the front does remains to be seen. It looks stylish. We've got plenty of drive mounts. Got to get on with the build. I cannot claim it was difficult to build a test PC inside this chassis, but it did throw up a few curiosities. So I'm going to go over my notes before I get to the thermal testings and my conclusion. For one thing, this vertical GPU mount here, this corner in particular, is close to the graphics card. So my RTX 2080 Fantasy Edition went in without any difficulty whatsoever. But when I offered up my Asus Vega 64 Strix graphics card, which is a chunky fella, it fouled on that point. I could just get it in place, but it actually involved graunching it past that metal, and that's not good. The reason for this GPU mount to exist in the first place, it's a bit of a curiosity, because you require an accessory to mount the graphics card there and then to connect it with a PCI Express cable. That accessory is £40. The case is now 80, it was 100. 40 quid's a large percentage. I don't think many people are going to buy that accessory, therefore that mount has little reason to exist. The installation screws for the PCI Express expansion slots are external to the core chassis, and then you get this little cover here that keeps it all neat and tidy. The reason Deepcool's taken this approach, as so many case manufacturers have, is to make the case slightly shorter, get more cases, more boxes on the pallet and then in the shipping container. It makes it a little more fiddly to install the graphics card and then lock everything down. I'm not a great fan of this. I can see why manufacturers do it. It just always smacks of cost cutting. The drive bays are interesting. When I was doing the intro, I said you could mount the bays in the floor of the case because that's what the user guide led me to believe. It's a very basic user guide. In actual fact, the drive bays mount on a 120mm fan location. There is one such location in the floor for a drive bay, so you can put it in the floor, but you can't put the two caddies one above the other and stack them. What you can do is to mount them vertically in the location I've currently got that Deepcool 360mm cooler in, or indeed, I guess at the front, but that would be weird. So mounting hard drives vertically in the side makes perfect sense. Of course, that then changes the options you have for cooling. But if you're going to use a single drive bay, you might choose to put it in the floor of the case. Installing our Seasonic focus power supply around the rear of the case, it slipped in easily enough. You have to do that classic thing where you hook it over the edge of the chassis and then push it into place and then screw it in from the rear. It's so much easier when a chassis has a detachable rear plate, but once again, cost cutting. The parts of our test PC are AMD Ryzen 5 3600, that processor has 6 cores, 12 threads, motherboard, Asus TUF Gaming X570 Plus. CPU cooler, we used the AMD Stealth for one of our tests, but also used Deepcool Castle 360X all-in-one. Memory is 16GB Corsair Vengeance LPX DDR4 3200MHz. Graphics card, Founders Edition RTX 2080. Power supply, Seasonic Focus Gold 1000 FX. The SSD is an M.2 NVMe Toshiba RC100, and the system's running Windows 10. I tested the Macube 550 in a number of configurations, starting with the stock AMD Stealth CPU cooler. My thinking there being the obvious one, which is you get the cooler with the CPU. Why wouldn't you use it? Clearly this shows the case in its poorest light because it comes with just the one rear fan. So with the rear fan working and the cooler there, you've got no intake going on at the front or the side whatsoever. And that showed in the CPU temperatures. Goodness me, it showed. CPU temperatures absolutely awful. And bear in mind, this is just a Ryzen 5 3600. It's not a grunty 8, 12 or even 16 core processor. It's a tiddly little 6 core. Once we're done with the Stealth cooler, I installed a Deepcool Castle 360EX cooler in the front. That's a 360 all-in-one with a load of RGB and such like, but it's a big all-in-one cooler. And in the front, it dropped CPU temperatures very satisfactorily. Interestingly, GPU temperatures actually increased slightly, but of course you've now got a great big block of stuff in the way of the airflow to the graphics card. Moving the all-in-one to the side was interesting. It didn't matter whether the fans were set to intake or exhaust, and that was a complete surprise to me. Temperatures perfectly okay, but the front location seemed to me to be the better of the two options. It does depend whether the focus of your attention is CPU cooling or GPU cooling. Nonetheless, in this case, it struck me that the front position was better than the side. And then as a final test, I had the cooler in the side position with the fan set to exhaust, and I removed the front panel to see whether or not those stealth intakes are actually blocking airflow or not. And I was very pleasantly surprised to see that pulling off the front panel made very little difference. So the case does indeed work as a case, which is a joyous thing to report. Here's my takeaway about the Deepcool Macube 550. The front panel, the side panel with those dragon scale vents in it, and the tinted glass, they all look perfectly okay. However, when you dig in, it's a very basic case. So the stealth air intakes at the front work. The I/O panel, it's basic. I mean, the fact the buttons aren't even labelled, you have to kind of remember which is power and which is reset. I don't much like that. The dragon scale venting on the rear panel, it seems to be purely for looks. It doesn't actually appear to have a great deal of function, which was quite a surprise. I truly expected it to have more of an effect on how this case behaved, but there we go. There's a reasonable number of drive bays. You've got loads of 2.5-inch mounts, and you've got those two 3.5-inch bays, which you'll be able to find space for. It does depend on where you have the cooler mounted, but you'll find a space for a 3.5-inch drive if you want it. Installing the power supply is a little bit fiddly, but it's not hard work. Getting your graphics card in place might be hassle, but in the case of this RTX 2080, no trouble whatsoever. Doing up the various screws and such like, you can get to everything you need to get to. No particular problems, it's just nothing special. There's no RGB, there are no extra features. The bits that look good are really for cosmetics. In terms of function, there's nothing much special to say about this case. It works, but do bear in mind, That one rear fan is not enough to cool your system. You either need fans on an all-in-one, or if you're using an air cooler, I strongly recommend you install extra fans either up the front or in that side position. The front actually works very well. That would be the obvious place for me to choose. Overall, it's okay, it's just not exciting. The original price of a penny under £100 was way too much money for this case. The £80 price that looked quite appealing to me actually looks a bit steep. We've seen cases from the likes of Game Macs, which are more like £50, which are in the same kind of territory as this case. If Deepcool wants to charge what is now serious mid-range territory money, they need to offer more than they are currently offering with this case. So overall, it's not a failure, not by a long chalk, but neither is it a winner. It's somewhere in the middle. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, hit the bell button, subscribe, will alert its new videos as they become available. I'm your Water for Kit Guru. This is the Deepcool Gamer Storm Macube 550.